guest directs a women's medical program, is an award-winning author, hosts a radio program, and represents the American Heart Association. To name just a few of her many accomplishments, do you ever sleep?
I'm so tired every day. I do fall asleep.
Welcome, Dr. Nieca Goldberg. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
When you write a book, The Complete Guide to Women's Health, you're putting your arms around a lot of stuff with that. So what are we covering in this?
We're covering women age 35 and over, head to toe.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a big
and
subject.
I did this because I'm a cardiologist, but a lot of times women would come into me with symptoms, you know, of shortness of breath, chest pain, and the lucky ones who don't have heart disease, I had to figure out what was wrong with them. And I figured out that it would be great to teach everyone about how the body is so connected.
Sure.
Well, are women as susceptible to heart attacks as men are?
Even more so. More women die of heart attacks every year in our country.
Than men?
Than men.
That's not, really?
Yeah,
Why do
since
we not hear about
1984.
Why do we not?
In fact,
hear about
2/3 of the women who have heart attacks in our country never make it to the hospital, and 90% of them have at least one risk factor that we know we can take care of, like high cholesterol, getting them to quit smoking, picking up an exercise program, treating their diabetes.
Well, can I ask you why they don't make it to that? Is it because the signs of a woman's heart attack are different than a men's heart attack, so that's why they don't make it to the hospital?
That's part of it. You know, everyone is familiar with the pressure in the center of the chest and breaking out into a cold sweat. And women can have those symptoms, but oftentimes they have the symptoms lower down in the chest. It feels like an elephant sitting on your chest, but it's lower down, so they take antacid. Or they go to the internet and look up what causes lower chest pain, and they delay getting to the hospital. And this past weekend, I was at a medical conference in San Diego, and one of the papers presented showed that women get to the hospital an hour later compared to men. And that's dangerous because the sooner you get to the hospital with heart attack symptoms, the more easier it is for doctors to prevent a heart attack, to save your heart muscle.
Is it that difference between men, pressure here, women here? Is the numbness in the arm still associated
The numbness,
with it?
There's tingling down the arm. Usually it starts with the pressure and then there's tingling down the arm. But sometimes women get short of breath without any chest pressure, and they feel as though they've run a marathon without making a move.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Well, there's shifting information about cholesterol and heart health. Can you please clarify the role that cholesterol plays in heart health and heart attacks?
High cholesterol is one of the risk factors, particularly high LDL or bad cholesterol is a risk factor for heart disease.
Men and women, are we talking now?
Men and women.
Okay.
Men and women share risk factors. So 80% of your cholesterol, your bad cholesterol, is made by your body, and 20% of cholesterol is taken in by diet. So recently they've lightened up a little on eating eggs, but that still means you have to watch your intake of bad fats, like saturated fats. Those are fats that are found in meat, and when you fry food, and it's really, when you're eating chicken, you should take the skin off because that's saturated fat.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar.
This has really pinged lately, at least in our world around here,
It's a big subject.
how bad it is for you.
It is, because people, when they started to cut back on saturated fats, they replaced it with sugar. So they found out they were gaining weight. And what happens is if you eat one of those low-fat muffins, they're loaded with sugar. And you get a sharp rise in sugar and a sharp rise in insulin. And 2 hours later, you're tired and hungry. So you start eating more.
Sure.
Would that also include refined carbohydrates, then?
Refined sugars, white floured foods, bread and pasta. You know, people were thinking, let's get low cholesterol food. So they were like eating plates and plates of pasta.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what to eat anymore, doctor. Help me out.
It's very easy. But it's very easy. You should really, when you're eating dinner, half your plate should be fruits and vegetables. A quarter should be protein. Salmon is a good low-fat protein. Omega-3 fats, very good for your heart.
Acids are great for you.
They're
So
great
if I go out to take somebody out to eat for dinner, a date, and they're like, oh, you can order for me. Should what a woman eats be the same as a man as far as?
Yeah, but probably they would be eating less.
Yeah, she's on a date. She's not going to eat the way that she eats when we're together.
Yeah, come on, women don't really, on the first date, they really don't
having a salad.
Not a T-bone?
No T-bone. They'll be eating a salad.
But the point is that I'm trying to make, thank you very much, is that women, the same diet should apply to both men and women.
A great diet for men and women that they can share is something called the Mediterranean-style diet.
I wrote a cookbook about it.
Right. So you should know that that diet has been proven to lower heart disease risk. The big point about that diet is it's low in meats and sweets. and refined sugars and processed foods.
Sure.
Well, what do women need to do differently to protect their heart health?
Well, first of all, women need to go to the doctor. You know, women are always pushing their husbands.
We take our
and their
husbands, we take our kids, we take everyone else
to the
except for
doctor.
us.
And women are very good about going to the doctor, you know, when they're pregnant and they have the baby, and I know you're familiar with that. And so you get a follow-up visit. And then I meet women who say, the last time I went to the doctor was 20 years ago. Their kid is now in college, and they haven't been to the doctor, and they're shocked that they have high blood pressure and high cholesterol. So really what I urge women is to get a checkup. It's important for women in their 20s to get their first cholesterol test and get a baseline. But when you start to approach the age of 35, you really need to go in for that yearly visit.
Yeah.
Not only with your gynecologist, but with a primary care doctor, like an internal medicine doctor.
Who's checking LDL, HDL, all of it.
Sugar, glucose.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, you can find links to Dr. Goldberg's work on her website and get her books at all major booksellers. Thank you so much. So much
Thank
great
you.
information.
Still going to order her a T-bone.
No, she's not going to eat it.
She's not going to eat it.
Tanya, you're up.
A beautiful Easter fantasy photo scene with baby Alexandra coming up in just a few minutes.